Okay, another How to Train Your Dragon holiday special.
Yeah, so happy Snoggletog, everybody.
Snoggletog again. So, in this one, this takes place after the events of, the last movie.
Yeah, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World.
So Hiccup and Astrid basically got married and got busy and had some kids.
They got busy!
Got busy, as Syndrome would say.
Yep.
And unfortunately, their kids seem to, obviously they're not grown up with the dragon, so they don't really, have that. And also, one of his daughters effectively got hold of one of the older books that basically said that dragons were evil.
Oh yeah,
and so she's got that in her mind. So Hiccup comes up with the idea that for Snoggletog, basically they decide to do this stage production of talking about the history of between Vikings and the dragons, and doing all of that. So they go to the biggest degree to put all this production together. Even Hiccup designs a whole toothless cosplay effectively for himself to play on stage. So they end up doing that, and the auditions, as you probably imagine, don't go very well, and the scripts are obviously all over the place as well. And and also you keep in mind the former king of the Vikings, Hiccup's father is now passed away.
I mean, we knew that because he did pass away at the end of How to Train Your Dragon 2.
He did, yeah, exactly, and so that causes problems because obviously they don't have him necessarily for and they only have basically his friend in order to do that.
Gobber,
Gobber always keeps getting really upset every time he thinks of.
Yeah, although if you remember, Fishlegs was in the audition and he was able to portray as stoic because he's able to give him the same voice
and things like that.
And the reason why is because Gerard Butler came back to voice as him even though it wasn't him.
Exactly, yeah, which I thought was hilarious.
That was really funny. And then Gobber's like, no, I must be the one to do it.
Yeah, so unfortunately the stage production just goes, not to plan at all. But funny enough, Toothless has said that, he misses his, Hiccup quite a lot. But even though his little dragon babies don't seem to believe what he is, so they all come up with the decision to basically fly over to, to Berk, and they just come at the very same time that they're about to put the production together, and so they get to basically him and their kids get to learn about what's going on. Unfortunately, at the time, basically the whole production set literally goes up in flames again, and so Toothless goes to save Hiccup, and then appears in the production as well. Even though it's not really people don't actually see him, and like that. He basically just he's behind the all the ashes and stuff. So but then his daughter, Hiccup's daughter, sneaks backstage, actually sees Toothless, and then all of a sudden, oh wow, she believes that dragons are friendly now because obviously she saw him save his dad and also save the production too.
Mm-hmm.
So very simple setup, at least in my opinion, and they put in was I think is a lot of heart into this, especially after you think that How to Train Your Dragon at this point was to start to get a bit tired, but no, I mean they still managed to put in really wonderful things into it, especially into even the Christmas specials too.
Yeah, I do agree, and the fact that we were able to get a follow-up after How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, where we got to see the epilogue of Hiccup marrying Astrid and then having 2 kids of their own, and then afterwards the story just ends. So we didn't get to see a full follow-up afterwards. This is the closest thing that we will get to see of a full follow-up of How to Train Your Dragon, because we're not going to get any other sequels. And as far as I know, the recent How to Train Your Dragon animated series takes place in the present time, where it focuses on the descendant of Hiccup and Astrid. So yeah, they continue on with the story legacy, but we don't get to focus on the main characters ever again. So again, this is probably the only chance we'll get to see them.
I look at that and think, did they take inspiration from Legend of Korra to put it into the present day from doing that? Do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it does feel like that, doesn't it? So, but anyway, I mean, if the current animated TV series isn't going to be your thing, I mean, at least this holiday special, at least is a good follow up to Hidden World.
Yeah, and I think that the fact that they were able to have a much more refined celebration of Snoggletog is actually really nice, especially when they were trying to figure themselves out in the first Christmas special. And yeah, I really do the fact, and also it's a Christmas pageant, so that's actually a really great tradition that we would get, where we get to see Christmas plays, whether it be with the Nutcracker, or here in the UK, I just learned about that you guys do pantomime, so that's actually really neat.
Yeah, but so I mean, this one I would definitely say check out, because I mean, if you're a big fan of all the How to Train Your Dragon movies, and you're a fan of the holiday specials, that DreamWorks put on. I think this is one of the best ones.
I do agree, yeah. And I also really like the fact that Hiccup doesn't necessarily see Toothless and have a full reuniting moment. I mean, Toothless kind of does. When
he does when, obviously, in the credits.
Yeah, in the
scenes,
credits, yes. But, like, in the special itself, when, Hiccup is in the Toothless costume, and then Toothless recognizes Hiccup, and then he starts, like, being really, really happy to see him. And then Hiccup just kind of, like, is thinking, oh, the pageant went really, really well, and my kids are not afraid of dragons, and they think of them as really cool. And so he thinks that he did the job really well, but in reality, just when he realizes toward the end, in which when the food that he laid out for Toothless and his family, that it was gone, that then he sees Toothless and his family flying up into the sky, and that's when they have that really touching moment together. So I thought that was really sweet.
Cool. Okay, so, my final word on this is that, it's a really good Christmas special, and definitely good How to Train Your Dragon special as well, so check it out.
Yeah, so, I mean, the question begs is that which one did we think was better out of the How to Train Your Dragon Christmas specials?
Dare I say this one?
I do agree, yeah.
Cool. Okay, check it out.
All right, check it out.